An obese beagle, basically a fat dog, who couldn't fit through dog door drops 61 pounds, which is amazing. And I gotta say, based off this photo, that is an extremely thick dog, right? Like, that is a thick dog. And not even the good type of thick, right? Where, like, a little bit of pudginess is kind of fun. No, this is like straight up, you're like a bowling ball of fat with four legs, right? So, Extreme Makeover Dog Edition, a once obese beagle named Wolfgang got an early start on his New Year's Eve resolution by getting healthy, making the necessary lifestyle changes and losing over 60 pounds. The doggo weighed 90 pounds in 2019 when he was first fostered by lawyer Erin McManus and her husband Chad Schatz. Now he weighs 29 pounds. So the two shared on Wolfgang's Instagram a side by side transformation pic of his weight loss. Throwback to my first Christmas with my family in 2019, I was about 60 pounds and my starting weight was 90 pounds. This year, I'm 29 pounds and I'm getting ready to complete my 5K on Christmas Eve. The caption read. Now, isn't it kind of funny, like the people who post like photos of their like animals end up pretending like they're talking? I think that's kind of interesting. I'm a little nervous for the 5K, but Dad said that if I don't try, there's a 100% chance I won't be successful. Also, sometimes just trying is succeeding. I'll keep you updated on how I do, as this has been over 30 months in the making, it continued. Now, McManus recently spoke to People about Wolfgang's health journey, explaining that she and her husband started fostering animals in 2009. That's pretty cool. Geez, that is a thick dog. He was just a super friendly, happy-go-lucky dog, McManus 39 said about the first time she met Wolfgang at a shelter. He couldn't fit through our existing dog doors, so we had to get a special, extra large dog door for him. McManus put the beagle on a high-protein, low-calorie diet that consisted of ground turkey meat and vegetables. He was surprisingly mobile for his size, she said, while also adding that he got tired after walking 20 feet. Her husband started taking him for walks to their mailbox and started to slowly increase the walking distances over a period of 6 months. Because the couple lives in Phoenix, the summers are blistering hot, therefore, Wolfgang had to either go on walks early in the morning or late at night. And the vet told us his heart and organs had to work extra hard to support his weight, and he could suffer from heat stroke if he was in the sun too much, McManus said. McManus and Schatz only wanted to foster Wolfgang, however, he was too sweet and friendly to be let go, so the pair decided to fully adopt him in the long run. While he also has a lot of loose and extra skin that stemmed from his weight loss, his parents have decided not to remove it. Chad and I feel passionately that morbid obesity is a form of animal neglect. I would have to agree. McManus explained, allowing a dog to get to 90 pounds when he should be 25 or 30 pounds is a form of abuse, and we try to advocate and educate when we can. Wolfie is now able to fit into doors and be as active as he can, and when he's an extra special good boy, McManus and Schatz allow him to have a couple licks of a Starbucks puppuccino. Puppuccino? Now, the reason why we're covering this is because you also got to think about the financial implications of an obese dog, but not just an obese dog, but also if you're obese, right? Because there's a lot of things to really learn about this situation, right? If your dog is extremely overweight, you run the likelihood of having much higher health complications, which means that there's going to be more visits to the vet. The visits to the vet are going to probably be a little bit more dramatic, more brutal, like bad, and they're probably going to cost a lot more than just normal checkups for a normal, healthy weighted dog. And this could be any animal, it could be a cat as well, right? Now, the same way to look at it for yourself, if you are obese, right, you run the likelihood of having more expensive health insurance, more expensive life insurance, higher risk of health complications, higher costs of living because you probably got to take some sort of medication because of blood pressure, etc., pain, all that kind of stuff, right? You are less likely to be able to be more active, right? Meaning you can't really do a lot of things. Not to mention, you might end up having to spend a little bit more money on just clothing because you might need to get more custom sized clothing for it to even fit. So, like, a lot of people don't realize how your lifestyle, like simple lifestyle choices, can end up dramatically changing your financial situation, right? And here's the thing, if you choose to do this to yourself, that is the freedom of choice that you have, right? But there's always consequences to your decisions. So you got to understand, if you purposely make life choices that are going to ruin your financial situation, that's on you. And the only way to really change that is to change your lifestyle choices, right? And here's the thing, like, you don't even have to make necessarily like crazy changes. For example, right? If you are obese or like you're kind of chunky or chubby or a little bit overweight, right? If you're someone who drinks a lot of soda, like just normal soda, simply replace that with diet soda and you'll probably lose a little bit of weight over time, right? Because a lot of people don't even realize this, but like a simple, small, normal sized Coke can could be like 200, 300 calories, right? That's a lot of calories. That's like almost the size of like a small meal, and you're just drinking it. And you're probably not just drinking one, right? Like, I've never met anyone who just drank one can of Coke or like one can of soda ever in a whole day. Never, like, if they drink soda, I've never seen that before. It's usually multiple sodas, which means that you're probably actually drinking more like 500 to like 1,000 plus calories a day, right? Like, as an example, right? Like a personal example, I know someone who typically always drank 2 liter sodas, right? Like daily, right? That's over like 2,000, 3,000 calories in just soda in basically one sitting in that day, right? Not to mention all the food that would pile onto that, right? So when you do something like that, you end up putting yourself in a higher risk of obesity, higher health cost, and all that kind of stuff, which completely can screw you financially. And what I mean by that is like having more weight on your body stresses out all of your organs, makes things cost way more because you're probably going to end up becoming diabetic, might end up having like a foot amputated or something. Like, it gets really dangerous health wise, but also gets financially strapped. And if you're someone who's not making necessarily a lot of money, or you're living like paycheck to paycheck already, regardless of your income level, and you're morbidly obese or just obese, putting yourself in that situation due to your life choices could basically end up destroying yourself financially. Like, it might be the difference between you being living paycheck to paycheck or not. And for example, if we use the United States, like 40 to 45% of the total population is obese. So you can see how big of an issue this actually is, right? And I'm not saying, people need to like be like gung ho about like fitness and go like crazy or all that kind of stuff, right? but just making like a small change, like going from like normal soda to diet soda, just so that you're not drinking like 1,000 calories per day, will help you out long term because it will gradually, right, decrease your weight over time. You're not really changing your lifestyle too much, which means you could keep doing it for a long term. Because a lot of people do these like crazy crash diets and it ends up completely screwing themselves. But just making like a tiny change like that by simply replacing it with like a 0 calorie, low calorie option, but you're still drinking soda in a sense, will dramatically change your financial situation in the future because you run a lower risk of health issues due to your general size, right? And it's just something to really think about because a lot of people don't necessarily think about the costs of lifestyle, right? Like there's a lot of cost when it comes down to your lifestyle, and if you're eating so much food or like taking in so many calories that you're obese, that gets into a bad situation for you financially. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40unbox.com. By the way, if you're obese, you're pretty much spending even more money on just food in general. So, like your grocery bill is going to typically be more expensive than someone who's not necessarily obese.